time to finish this review, but first, gotta go to the bathroom.
Hey, where did Steve go? Where's Steve? Oh, damn it. Where does he keep getting these bugs from? I don't understand. Just give me this damn newspapers. I'll take care of it. No. Yeah.
Arnez, what are you doing?
These things need to die. They keep multiplying. I don't understand.
Get away from those. Those things are worth more than you. Stop. No. Stop it. No. Stop it.
Die.
Stop. No. Mine.
Ow.
Bad Arnez. Hey guys, welcome back to Super Important Reviews. My name's Steve, and today we're going over the Bandai Tamashii Nation SH Monsterarts Mothra and Battra Larva set. This is from the 1992 film Godzilla Mothra Battle for Earth, and initially when I seen this set coming out, the initial draw for me was the Battra Larva, because for me this is the official first Battra Larva that I have in my collection. For the adult version of the SH Monsterarts line, I had the Treadmaster figure from way back in the day where you had to buy the entire set and it came with this little flexible Battra, and it wasn't very cool. So I wanted something to replace that in my collection, which is the reason why I got the SH one to begin with. Plus, I really like the Japanese figures. And when this was released, I was really excited about it, because just look at how sweet he looks just on the cover of this packaging, like with all the colors and everything. And he's a nice contrast to the Mothra Larva, which is a pretty plain looking monster overall. And initially, when I seen that it came on the Mothra Larva, I wasn't that excited about it because this is literally like my 9th Mothra Larva that I have. But after seeing some reviews, it actually got me really pumped for this figure because, again, it's fully posable, has a cool little gimmick, which I'll get to in a little bit, and some accessories. So I'm really happy that I got this set at the moment. See a little bit more when I get them out of the packaging. But for the packaging, I really like how they got the figure displayed on the front of the package. Even though I really like how they do the clear plastic on the front on a lot of the other ones. Because especially if you want to leave it inside the box, it gives you a nice display option. While this isn't quite as good for me, but it still looks pretty interesting. And it has the Godzilla 2014 over here. It's part of the 60th anniversary line with the Mothra and Battra emblem trademarks. Also has the Bandai Tamashii Nation down at the bottom. For the top, just has the Mothra and Battra, more Mothra and Battra set, little pictures of them down over here. For the side, has them in their kanji and their black and white, which is pretty cool. For the other side, just Mothra and Battra in case you forgot. For the back of the packaging, shows these figures that you get in the display in a little bit more dynamic poses. Mentions a little gimmick down here for the Mothra Larva, which I'll get to in a second. Also with his nice little accessory, which looks sweet on the back. And some stuff I can't read on the bottom. Oh, upside down. Some legal mumbo jumbo. And my box looks horrible on the bottom. But, it's going into storage anyways. But, enough about that. It's going to open up out of his cardboard prison. So for starters, we're going to go over their accessories. And for the accessories, they only work with the Mothra Larva. It would have been nice to maybe have seen something to help replicate maybe the horn beam that Battra shoots out or something like that. But for Battra being the much larger figure, it's understandable that it comes with some stuff for the Mothra Larva just to help give the figure a little bit more value. And what it comes with is this clear display stand, which nothing too exciting going on here. On the bottom just has some copyright information. But what this does is to help get Mothra in the angle that you need for the spray effect, which I'll show you guys in just a second. But for the actual spray effect, it's this thin piece of plastic. So one thing that I would be a little bit wary on is just be very careful with this, because I could see this easily snapping. But one thing that's kind of nice is it's a little bit flexible, so you don't have to worry about like if you smack it, it's going to snap on you or anything. But it has this really nice frosted paint effect on here. And especially with the texture of the plastic, it really does give off a nice string vibe to it. And overall, I like the translucency of it and everything. Like, it's a really nice accessory. So, to get Mothra into the pose, what you're going to want to do is open up the Mothra Larva's mouth. And inside there, if you guys can see it, there's a little peg holding in there. What you're going to want to do is take the bottom of the string effect and get into the peg hole. But I recommend keeping your fingers down pretty low because you don't want this to be stressing any with your hands being higher trying to insert it. So just make sure to keep it closer to the bottom. Then you just insert into the mouth. And it looks really nice. Also, you get a little bit of leeway with it. But I wouldn't recommend having it in the mouth unless you're going to be having it on the stand. Just because it's kind of cool to have it straight, but I just worry about a little bit more stuff happening with it being a little bit out of eyesight. But what you're going to want to do is for these little grooves, you're going to want to stick them in between the legs here. So when you put it on, it should be exactly like this. So when you set it down, you get a really awesome display piece with the Mothra Larva doing the spray silk attack where he's all like, and Godzilla's all like, not the face! So, getting some of these pieces out of the way. And sorry, Battra, but we'll come back to you. So after getting some of the stuff out of the way, we're going to be going over the Mothra Larva first, which to me looks really nice. I really love the brown paint job here with the dark brown underneath, and then it's covered up by this light brown, which gives it a nice accurate representation to the film. Especially with the eyes here too, like the way it has this blue paint job here. It helps to kind of replicate the way it was illuminated in the films. Especially with the lighting here, like it gives a nice shine to them. And I really like the mandibles on here too. I think that's what that's called anyway. Like it has the little grooves here for the teeth, which is, again, just really nice attention to detail that you really only get a lot with this figure line. Even though the X Pluses look really nice as well, but I personally don't have any of those in my collection as of yet. But I'm really looking forward to getting the raids again, Godzilla and Anguirus. So hopefully we'll have reviews of that a little later. But getting focused, Steve. Getting back on the Mothra Larva. Especially down here, like I really love the way like the little hair details are under here. Looks really cool. And then also you can see underneath the body, it has these little suction cups down here to help give it like the way you see like caterpillars in real life, or it's how they like stick to the side of like trees and whatnot. So that's a really cool touch to the character. Really like that, especially with the little legs here, which are sadly not posable, which I guess is fine. Like not everything really needs to move on these figures, but it was a little bit surprising getting that out of the packaging, especially with the antennas on the side here actually being posable. So that was a little weird to me. And then getting into the rest of the articulation, as you guys can see, the mouth can move in and out. And then for each of these segments, it kind of works like how the tails work on the other SH Monsters figure, where you can move side to side, down and up. But one thing that is really sweet on this character is, especially if you're really into stop motion, it can also, with it being able to move side to side, it can also move back and forth. And each of these segments can do this. Pretty much, for my figure, I had to work it a little bit because some of these got really stiff when trying to move them back and forth. Like this section is still a little bit hard. Same with this one here. But getting down to about here is where it stops, and then this one's kind of just sitting over stuff. But what this does is it helps to replicate the movement that you see it do in the film. So again, especially if you're really into stop motion, I think this figure turned out really nice for that, because it can move back and forth to kind of give it off that overall movement and wiggle that you've seen, where he's all like wiggle, 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 yeah. So that's a really nice added touch to this figure, especially with the Battra Larva being the initial draw of getting this figure set, is that they still managed to make the Mothra Larva very neat and overall a nice addition to the set. Now getting Mothra out of the way, we are at the reason why I bought the set to begin with the Battra Larva, which this thing is beautiful. I overall love the coloring on this figure, with the nice red here going down the side of its back, and also with the red ovals coming down here, with the dark gray. It's kind of like a dark gray with a little bit of a blue tint to it, which is really sweet. And then the yellow stripes coming off here. Like, it's just a very eye-catching figure, just like the Mothra adult and the Battra adult figures were for this set. And then bring him in for a little closer look. The head sculpt on this guy turned out really nice, especially with how they got the translucent plastic here for the horns and coming out a little bit up the top here. Like, that looks really nice. And overall, his eyes are very sweet, where it has this more crystallized insectile look. Just looks really amazing. Like, it's just not much of a better way to describe the sculpt on this thing. And then even with the teeth, like, I really like how when you open it up, each of the teeth are separated. It's not like they're enclosed and it kind of just sits. Like, when you close it together, the teeth actually move in on each other. And it just looks really nice to me. And even the detail inside the mouth, really awesome as well. What's even cool too is that each of these little horns or antennas on the sides here are each posable too. So I know I messed with it a little bit to try to get the line up so when the mouth's open that they kind of line up a little bit, which isn't quite perfect yet, but still really sweet. And overall, just the paint application on this too is just, again, just really awesome. And really like the horns down here too, and each of these are posable as well. And then it's got these nice little arms coming off of here. That's what you want to call them. And then same with down here, each of these little ones are posable. These ones aren't quite as movable on mine, but they got a little bit of a rotation here too. Show it off a little bit better on here, but they can rotate all the way around. And then same with these ones. These ones are stupid movable. They get them out about this far, come in about yay much, and then they can also rotate around. And same with the bottom ones here. Can move outward, inward. These can also move at the end of the little claws. Can't really, well, maybe it can rotate around. There we go. And then this part down here though can't rotate all the way around, which is perfectly fine. And then the rest of the legs coming down along here aren't posable at all, which again is really fine because this stuff isn't really going to be what you're going to be wanting to pose anyways. What's really nice too is that each of these segments are also posable, where you can move down a little bit, move up a little bit, and a little bit side to side. So it's not a crazy amount of movement like you get with a lot of the tails and stuff from a lot of the other SH Monsterarts line. But then again, it's not like you really seen him like whipping his pecking around trying to hit anybody. But it's still very nice movements nonetheless. And then down here for the end of his tail, this part can move all the way around. It's also on a ball joint, which so you get a little bit of motion with it. And then same with all of these sections, are all on ball joints. And then up here at the top of the head too, it has a really nice movement because you can get him to look down a lot. And you'll see here that there's this little flap of armor. So when you move the head down, you're going to want to push that down. And then when you move it back, it'll lift up a little bit. So you can have it come down a little bit more so it covers up the armor plate that's right here. But so when you lift up his head, it still looks like that's the way that's supposed to be because it connects very nicely with it down here. So even if you bring it up, it still doesn't look all that bad. And then when you bring it all the way up, it looks again like it's meant to be like that. So overall with his articulation too, turned out really great. And then show off a little bit of the turning. Can't really turn a crazy much without the help of the bottom joint down here. But still very nice nonetheless. And because I forgot to show it, here's how the underbelly section of the Battra Larva looks like. Which has these really nice grooves and detail. Which is nice too because I could see this being something that they could skip out on, giving us a little bit of details on here because I don't know how many people are going to be laying it on the shelf like that to display it. So, but it's really nice that they do this anyways because it helps with this actually being a very expensive figure anyways. Because the set of the Mothra and Battra Larva were $100. But so far, I think these guys are well worth it. So for some size comparison, here is the Battra Mothra Larva compared next to the SH Monsterarts High Seas Godzilla. Which this is a very awesome scale and helps to show just how massive of a figure the Battra Larva is. And the Mothra is not too terribly small. But turning them on their sides a little bit, you can see, put Godzilla on the back here a little bit. Again, just how massive of a figure this larva is. Bringing little Mothra in here too. It's just overall, you can see you get a lot of plastic here with these two figures in comparison to the Godzilla. And here's the Battra Larva compared next to the SH Monsterarts Battra Adult. And here's the Mothra Larva compared next to the SH Monsterarts Adult Mothra. And here's the SH Monsterarts Mothra Larva compared next to some of my other Mothra Larvas from my collection. And here they are compared next to the NECA's 1994 Godzilla. And here they are compared next to the NECA's Godzilla 2014, which I actually would love if they would replace Mothra with Battra in order to fight him, because overall this just seems like more of something to come out of that universe than the Mothra would. So overall with the Battra Mothra set, I think it turned out super, because the overall amount of detail with these figures is just extraordinary. The articulation is far above and beyond what I thought they were going to come with, especially with the Mothra Larva back here. Just turned out really awesome with the way it can wiggle and everything. Like, I think that is just a nice touch to the figure. And at the initial price tag of $100, I thought it was a little bit high when I first seen it, but after getting these figures out and playing with them and messing around with them, I personally think it's worth it, especially with the amount of figure you get with the pair of these. Definitely rivals that of King Ghidorah and Destroya. And personally, I think these guys were a solid buy. If you guys are a big fan of Battra and Mothra, I think you guys should have these in your collection too. So what do you guys think? Do you guys like Battra and Mothra? Have you guys seen Godzilla and Mothra Battle for Earth? Or you think larvas are just gross? Please let us know in the comments. We'll have closer pictures of these guys on Facebook. If you want to click the link in the description below. Please don't be afraid to share this video around. And if you like this and want to see more stuff like this, please give us a like and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching.